wish you could go first.
All right. Yes. One of the many honorary presents of 2004, and it's just this is such a blessing. This is the hugest blessing that has ever been put upon the world and to me. Everything about it is just simply awesome, and I just gotta say, there's no other words can express this. Like a few different little hits and misses right here, especially for me. Like this, the whole thing about Spider-Man losing his powers and all that stuff. I was like, oh no, I thought he just lost his powers randomly, but it's all about the stress about Mary Jane finding somebody else, because she did mention that.
So that's why he was losing his powers. That makes sense.
Yes, because also in the comics, it said that like he began losing his powers at the sight of not saving Uncle Ben's life, and it was during when he was trying to fight the Sinister Six, and he regained his powers back. Yeah, it's a great connection and stuff. And yeah, one of the best sights to see is, of course, yes, the much more awesomer fight scenes, especially with how cool Doc Ock's arms are. I mean, No Way Home's version is kind of slightly much more better looking, but it was awesome at the time.
Yeah. And for us, well, of course, for me, this was my introduction to Dr. Octopus before I got introduced to him in the like pictures and comic books, posters and whatnot. And in fact, I used to have a poster as a kid with Spider-Man villains. Of course, it included Doc Ock, Lizard, Venom, I believe, Electro, Green Goblin, you name it.
I almost had the same thing too. And what else? Yeah, I used to have action figures of them too as well.
Oh, that's cool. And yeah, because the comic book I came with the poster I was talking about. So yeah, that's how I got the poster.
And speaking of special things, of course, it also came with a second disc that featured the behind the scenes and various games and stuff.
Oh yeah. I saw that on YouTube, and the fact that the tentacles were real and people were moving it around and all that.
Yes, isn't it cool?
Yeah, like puppets. That's really well done.
Yeah, and of course in No Way Home it was CGI and all that, so it was much easier at the time.
See, I told you because...
that makes sense.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I said it makes sense for it to be CGI because they didn't really have CGI back then, so the technology was limited.
Well, it did say that it won an award for best visual effects, so I mean, you weren't it just thinking too much.
Yeah. Let's see here. Speaking of Dr. Octopus, yes, this is how many people got introduced to Alfred Molina.
Oh, we're not really on that subject yet.
Oh, I'm sorry then. Okay, so before that, oh yeah, about Spider-Man 2. We almost didn't get Tobey Maguire to do Spider-Man 2 because his back was hurting.
Oh, his back was actually hurting?
Well, if you listen closely, if you listen carefully and stuff, he was still suffering back pains from this movie called Seabiscuit, where he was playing a horse jockey.
Yeah, and he it was almost gonna go to his one of his friends, Jake Gyllenhaal, who you may know as Mysterio from Tom Holland's Spider-Man film.
Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home. And yeah, it would have been so different to see a different Spider-Man in the second movie.
Yeah, and that also explains why he said why his back was hurting in one scene where he slammed down to the car while trying to swing. So that makes actually a lot of sense.
Let's see. For further instances, let's see what else. Oh yeah. Let's see. What else was epic about?
I want to say this epic, but one of the moments, this is another time, Mary Jane was dating somebody else. It was J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Or as the memes will call him, Son the Astronaut.
Really?
I'll keep it that. That's all he is. It's just Son the Astronaut. He has no purpose of the story at all. And that's when I began to. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
That's where he began to learn much more about how anything could either be, to the point or pointless and stuff. And he was, what was he even in this movie anyway? Like, he has nothing.
Like, what was his purpose? This is why I prefer the one from Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he has a lot more story plot. So, yeah, I hate when they bring in characters that don't have any point to the story or plot. It just comes in at random. Like they should have...
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like with Spider-Man Homecoming, because Scorpion was there, like, Matt Gergen, and, like, although he was not in a suit, he was a villain there, but what was the point of bringing him there if he didn't have the full suit on?
Yeah. If you wanted to bring a character in that you wanted in a movie, then have him do something, or then just bring him there. Like, come up with a story or a plot for him to be there, or something.
Let's see. One of the many other wonders to behold is, like, when you get straight into the movie, into the intro, and, like, you see this. There's a red background this time, and then it starts playing, like, showing these pictures.
Coming in. I'll be right back.
Okay, so one of the many wonders, again, to behold is the intro when you get into the movie. And then you see this awesome art gallery that features some scenes from the previous movies. And it's just really cool to look at. And the music being so much more intense and awesome. And, let's see. And yeah, it's a really good intro. It's my favorite out of, like, the Sam Raimi series. Well, I put it second, third, and first.
And yeah, and the scene I was about to talk about, like, I would say, like, I guess you could say it was kind of, like, best, but one of the actors. It was a scene with Harry Osborn, like, like at his, like, apartment and all that, and his, and of course we see a silhouette of Willem Dafoe's, Norman Osborn. I was like, they actually brought him back, and it was a funny story how, like, he was able to come back for the second movie.
And wait, do you know how it goes or something?
So yeah, Willem Dafoe was just walking to his apartment at the time, and he saw the crew and everything, and, like, the crew was like, let's make him a little cameo in the second movie.
Oh, well, I guess that was just nice of them to do.
And yeah, it was great to see Willem again, only for a second in the second movie, but yeah, what was your first reaction to that?
I was like, well, I mean, let's see. I don't really remember that much, but I was like, oh, okay, so he's back.
And of course, this led, like, Harry to, like, smash the mirror and all that, and then finding, like, Green Goblin's, like, secret lair and all that.
Yeah, that was the beginning of a oh no. And also, yes, before that happened and stuff, what really hurts is Peter didn't have time to explain that, dude, I didn't kill your father. I'm like, he killed himself and blah blah blah. I mean,
oh yeah, remember that scene, like, at the conference with Jonah's son and, like, Mary Jane and all that, but you see Toby, like, trying to take pictures and all that, and, like, Harry starts slapping him. Remember that?
I do, and it took me up to here to realize that he was kind of, like, drunk a little bit, because he was drinking a little. He said, "Easy on the bottle, bud."
And the fact that, like, Peter didn't say anything about that until, like, you'd think he would shed a tear, but, of course, being a superhero and all that, at least he kept it in.
Well, all it is just shock, because, since Harry's gone, like, off the line about being obsessed to find Spider-Man because, oh no, he killed my dad.
But, in No Way Home, although we did talk about this when we were doing the movie stream on Chris's channel a long time ago, remember when Sandman said about Green Goblin and Doc Ock's, like, death was on TV, so, like, shouldn't Harry saw that on TV, though? Like, what really happened?
Well, probably, but no, wait. But during that time in Spider-Man 3, his butler did explain to him that the Goblin did die by his own hand.
Well, yeah, but I was talking about the second movie because, at the time he was going through a tough time and everything. But then Bobby explained, like, maybe he wasn't, like, good enough to see what was going on with TV. So, like, that's a good point as well.
But if you said, like, during the second movie and stuff, no, I'm probably, like, thinking too much about it too.
I was like, yeah, because you can see it on TV or not, like, because, when something important is on the news, of course everybody's gonna see it, but of course Harry didn't see it, so yeah. And yeah, like, this is what kind of happens with friends. Like, you start off friends as, like, little kids and all that, but as you grow as teenagers, you start having, like, a little bit problems, like what they're having right now.
Well, during the time, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so even though this is not Spider-Man related, it's like, one wants to, like, work hard at school and wants him to, like, party all night, get drunk and all that. Of course, like, that kind of relationship.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah. And what else about the movie? Oh, yeah, with Doc Ock, like, before, like, he became what he is today, like, of course, it was also sad to see his wife die because of the shatters and all that.
Yeah, that right there, that was, I was like, oh, yeah, they had the balls to just show something just, no, wait, I mean, of course, yeah, Goblin's death was gruesome and all that, but that right there, right in the eye, that...
Oof. But remember, Doc Ock's favorite catchphrase, or like one of his favorite, like, phrases of all time.
And?
Have the sun on the palm of my hand. And I'm so glad he said that in No Way Home.
Yes.
And of course, other than Doc Ock, we also got introduced to, of course...
We're not there yet.
I was about to mention, like, not the cast, but somebody else.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Dr. Kurt Connors.
Right. Yes. And like, here's the thing. I didn't even realize that his arm was missing. I was like, oh, look at this. So is this some new guy? And I didn't even...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I really, again, I didn't even notice that his arm was missing.
Exactly. That's what people have been saying. Like, the first time you watch the Spider-Man film, like, the second one, you wouldn't, like, notice it until you watch it multiple times. You'd be like, oh, so he didn't have, like, his arm and everything. But it was kind of sad, like, him being in the, like... Of course, it was also for him to be in the second and third film, but... And he was supposed to be in the fourth movie as Lizard, but of course, that got canceled and everything.
But at least Sam Raimi's Spider-Man did get a chance to fight him in No Way Home.
Yeah, took away Mark Webb's Lizard, but I'm not complaining. At least that was an awesome fight.
Yes. Yes. Other character introductions. Yes, there. Of course, yeah, Mr. Dickovich and Ursula, and they're decent characters.
Oh yeah, when Christian comes back, because he always mentions about the landlord and all that.
I mean, it's like, sometimes I never heard him like mention him multiple different times and stuff.
Because if you remember in one of Christian's streams from a long time ago, I was doing this thing where I would come back again as different profile pictures and using a different name, and one of them was Blitzy McGuire.
Oh,
if you remember that.
I mean, like, good times and bad times, they can cycle in my head about how my day goes.
Oh yeah, and another like surprising one, like, oh yeah, when I saw this, I was like, you know what? He is really awesome doing this live action, like Fillmore.
Well, yes.
I was like, one of the passages from the train and all that, I was like, dude, this is legendary for him.
It is. Yeah.
And of course, another person that I know is, I didn't even know him at the time, but it was Joey Diaz. That was, defending Peter at the train and like saying, if you want to get by him, you have to get by us and me.
And it did say that even though Wikipedia has its ups and downs, of course, not really getting the right information, but it did say that it said it was those two kids. One of them, it was.
Oh wait, those are Tobey Maguire's half brothers.
Oh wait, oh yeah, on the train. But I was saying, on the train. But I was saying, like, at the beginning when Peter was delivering the pizza to Spider-Man and he saved those kids. It was Peyton List and her brother Spencer.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
It was.
Yeah. And yeah, the second movie was like, of course, with a different plot and everything, with different villains. I like that. Like, with the first movie, like, really focusing on, like, the Green Goblin and all that, and of course Doc Ock, and then the third movie we'll talk about soon. But it's like a really like good to bad turn.
I'm sorry.
Like, I would say bad turn because of here and there, like somebody's design.
I understand.
Yeah. But overall, this movie, when I first saw it, because, even though, like, this is not how I got introduced to, like, everybody. Yes, of course, with Spider-Man, both with Spider-Man 2's cast, like, you want to talk about the cast now?
I mean, like, so we already did like half of that with, but yes, it's explaining more. I mean, now we can explain more with, Doc Ock.
Okay, just basically explain, like, more of the movie and all that, like, the best and worst scenes, and now we're talking about the cast.
Okay,
like,
what were you guys talking about? What was going?
Oh, yeah. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, Christian, you could talk about the landlord, like, the one you always mention.
The landlord. Okay, so Peter lives in an apartment, a rickety old apartment. It's really crappy, and his lawyer is a total tool. It gets on his nerves, asking him how to pay his rent and whatnot. But, of course, he has a daughter. And is she, like, Russian descent?
Well, I guess in that area, and it's landlord, not lawyer.
Wait, I can't say lawyer. Dang it. Okay, I meant to say landlord, not lawyer. It came out wrong. But yeah, throughout the movie, the lawyer. One.
Slow down.
Okay, you guys talk. I'm gonna end up saying lawyer instead of landlord.
So, as he was saying, a landlord, like, at first, he's like one of those landlords that, like, really mean, like, he expects, like, the rent on the first day, of course, like, you're, like, that kind of person that says, can I have another day and all that, but he's, like, really strict with it, like, with the rent.
Yeah. Even though the apartment is very old and whatnot and worn out.
But other than that, Ursula from her, like, the family was the nicest, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was great to see them in the third movie as well, of course, because Peter was still living in the apartment. And, like, not talking about, like, the main guy himself, Alfred Molina.
Yes.
Yes, as Dr. Otto Octavius, or also known as Dr. Oedipus. Octavius sounds like Oedipus is just really clever. He is a scientist named Doctor, and he's created some kind of machine to create the sun, and also he created 4 mechanical claw-like tentacles that they put on his back for he can control, until an accident occurred that exploded the machine, and in the hospital it found out that the arms are fused with his back and his brain, much to his dismay. And also, because of that, he is hearing voices through the mechanical arms, so they telepathically speak to him and stuff, and he just became evil, just like that.
I mean, yeah. Okay, with Alfred Molina, this is how you got introduced him in live action, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, before Donkey was Dr. Octopus, this is how I got really introduced to him, because this is similar to how I got introduced to Willem Dafoe in Finding Nemo. Well, Alfred Molina, it was Rango.
Right, yes.
Because he voices a character named Roadkill, which is an armadillo. You wouldn't expect Alfred Molina to voice him, which I didn't realize it was him the whole time until you guys mentioned it to me.
Yeah, and then officially, like, I got introduced to him as the live action Doc Ock. Other works he's done, like, of course, finding out that he was in Wreck-It Ralph, like, 2.
Yes.
And he has played as
Double Dan.
Double Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he is sensitive mainly because he has his brother, a quote brother, on his neck, and he doesn't like anyone to look at and stuff, and it's very distracting. No one can help it, not even Ralph himself, and he messes up every time. Like, Fresh, you explain.
Okay, all it is these fraud. Yeah, it's called fraudulent slips, like saying something that you accidentally say at first, but then you try to patch it up. Kind of like say he said like I heard a little rumor about, and then the reason I came to your neck of a face. I mean, there's a face in your neck. I mean, woods, neck of the woods.
And the best part, thank you for your assistance. Thank you for assistance. Get out.
Yeah, I always die on that part, but yes, all of his other works, yes. What surprised me most is that he was in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Indiana Jones movie, and then his character just died immediately.
Was he a good guy or a bad guy?
Bad.
Oh, okay. And also in Gravity Falls, he only appeared in one episode where he voiced a character called the Multi-Bear, which is a bear with multiple heads, and he voices him.
Yeah, another shocker from him. And even though this was his first DC role, but of course before that he played like Lex Luthor in Robot Chicken, which I was pretty interested in.
What about another?
That is a good role for him.
What about another DC? Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I was about to mention him because this is his first official DC role, because Robot Chicken didn't really count at the time. But yeah, Mr. Freeze, that was a good role for him.
Wait, did you say Harley Quinn, Fresh?
Yes, Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
what do you think I said? Bobby Wallback?
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and his Mr. Freeze was pretty sad, the fact that he died in that one. Just, to save his wife and all that. And let's see here.
Oh, yes, others, yes.
Yeah, another surprise one recently was DC's League of Super Pets, where he voices Superman's dad.
Yes.
Which I have not seen. I wish I did, but I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully it'll come on DVD soon so I can see that. I heard it's really good based on your experience, so.
Yeah, it's like one of those, it's like one of the good, DC, animated movies, that ever came out throughout the years.
Yes.
Yep, and one of the greatest movies that has Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, of course, as a duo, and as they usually do. Sometimes, though, they're not usually in a movie together as a duo. Sometimes, either appears like a cameo. Like, for example,
and then anything else from Alfred, or is that it?
Yeah. La Sombra from Hey Arnold the Jungle movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, and also he was in the second live-action Pink Panther 2, where he played one of the detectives, and he did a really good job in that movie. I saw it twice. It's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, of course. Monsters University.
Yes, Professor Knight.
Right. Yes, I keep forgetting that he's in that movie. He did really good as Professor Knight, and yeah, it's pretty shocking to find out. So that's his. Oh,
I'm sorry. Another thing I have to mention was he was also in Frozen 2, where he voiced Anna Elsa's dad, replacing Maurice LaMarche.
Exactly.
But do you prefer Maurice or Alfred?
I prefer both, but from experience-wise, Maurice.
Yeah, I prefer Maurice. I mean, his Alfred's one was alright, but I prefer Maurice's.
And let's see other good ones from Alfred, if you can name any.
Yeah. See, so we got searching.
Apparently, he was in Rick and Morty, according to his TV list.
Oh, Rick and Morty, right? The devil.
Yeah, right.
He also was in DreamWorks Dragons, which is the series on Cartoon Network. Pencil Part-Time Hero. Oh yeah, that's right. He plays the main villain in that show. I forgot. Yeah, he plays the main villain named Rippin.
Oh, this shocked me the most. He was in an episode of Family Guy.
Oh.
I'm there was this one episode where Peter was trying to pretend to be this Dawn, and then he said let me introduce you to the other Dawns. Dawn Duck, Donkey Kong, Dawn Amnesia.
I saw that on YouTube, but which one did he play?
Yeah, he was playing the guy explaining the Dawns.
Oh. Wow. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, other roles he played a Robot Chicken other than Lex Luthor. I was really surprised when he played Daddy Pig. I was like, he really matches that voice really good.
Well, of course, since they're both British, it would make total sense.
Oh wait, he was in Big City Greens.
He is?
Right.
Yeah, he played that Rooster Cockburn.
Yeah. I remember that episode.
Rooster?
I mean, either rooster or chicken. I'm like, like since chickens are mostly with females half the time, like, it was just flip flopping. I'm just.
So wait, Rooster talked in Big City Greens?
Well, yeah, because their dog Phoenix. Because usually it was Dee Bradley Baker, but it was somebody that was voicing her because they can't really understand like the pets, but the pets had their own arguments at the time.
Really? So one scene that shows that they're supposedly talking? Huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, other than that, and of course, like it would have been no shock because he did return in Monsters at Work.
Yes.
Oh, so Professor Knight made a reappearance? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Because yes, they were able to get like all the familiar faces for like Monsters Inc. and University, but of course they had to change for like Smitty and Needleman.
Are you talking about those two nerd monsters?
Yeah, and I was really surprised who took over for them. Steven Stanton, the voice of Sleepy.
Ah, interesting. What happened to the other guy, though?
Don't really know, but I was like really, really surprised at first when I heard about it. Like bringing back John Goodman and Billy Crystal. Like, yeah. Although, like, yeah, the pandemic was really bad, but at least they got the celebrities to voice certain characters at home with their studio.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Spider-Man 2. What's another topic we could talk about?
But before, yes, overall, Alfred Molina was just an awesome addition to this movie, and I'm glad to ever got to know so much more about him. And it's just an awesome guy.
Yeah. And it says here, he speaks Spanish and Italian. And let's see here.
Really?
And let's see, he also likes jazz music.
You like jazz?
Yes, I do.
and apparently it is said that he played almost every ethnicity in the movies and stuff. So.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
He said like he has almost played every ethnicity. If I'm pronouncing it right, like
I don't know what that means.
Look, it can either mean he could be Spanish or Mexican or Italian or anything.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Also, and Robot Chicken, he also played Green Arrow.
Green Arrow? Green Arrow? DR.
Wait, yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, yes, Stan Lee, he did like this time make a cameo appearance where he saved a woman from being crushed from debris.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
And of course, like his first cameo was in the first movie, which was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, wasn't like
It was the parade scene where he saved a little girl.
Oh, okay.
Shadow and Firestorm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fire.
Oh yeah, he was in Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness.
Right. Yeah.
Oh really?
Let's see here. Oh yeah, of course he did play like in the video games as Doc Ock some of the times. And other than that, his first ever voice role was in The Wild Thornberrys.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, what else do you like talk about this movie?
Yeah, what's the other topic? Well, of course, Peter Parker's relationship with Mary Jane Watson we mentioned earlier.
And I must tell you, no offense to Kirsten Dunst, but she was like the worst, how would I say this, partner to Peter, like time to time, because there are times where she could break up, go with another guy, break up, go with another guy. Basically, she was not the most favorite, other than Gwen Stacy and the other MJ.
Right. Yes. That's what they all say. And it's Kirsten.
At this point, don't be with MJ at all. I know she's hot and everything, Peter, but if she's gonna constantly break up with you every single second, just break up with her permanently and stuff, or like, just say your friends or whatever you want to, and just not be with MJ if she's gonna keep doing that.
Okay, first of all, at the end of the first movie, he said he can't be with her because, well, no, since he's Spider-Man now, it's his responsibilities and stuff. So they weren't even really a couple in the first place up until the end of the second movie.
And then in the third movie, they are actually supposed to get married. Yeah.
And what do you call it? Oh yeah, this is my favorite like dumb fun fact, because I watched this guy that does this dumb fun facts. It was like, did you know that Mary Jane Watson is actually dumb? Because you know why? Because when she said go get him, Tiger, she's really stupid, because clearly he's not Tiger Man, he's Spider Man.
Ah, of course, I knew you were gonna bring this up.
Well, that's her iconic line, because she's been saying it ever since. When did she say go get a tiger? I don't know if it's in the comics or what, but yeah, she's been saying that a lot. So, and if I'm not mistaken, she also says it in the PS4 Spider-Man game.
Okay, in her first comic appearance, at the end of one comic, she said, "Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." So that's where she said it.
Oh, really? So, yeah, I don't know why she calls Peter Tiger a lot, so...
It's an affectionate name, duh. But the biggest part, of course, of this movie is the awesome fight scenes, starting with, of course, the bank fight that eventually leads outside.
Well, yeah, and remember he got a hold of Aunt May and asked her to hand over, and so of course, and he dropped her, he said, "Butterfingers."
Yeah, that's another thing. They made Doc Ock have this, sadistic, dark sense of humor, and that was good on them. I was like, okay, so yeah, going all murdery and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't know how this is possible in the comics, but for some reason, Doc Ock and Aunt May are a couple.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I kind of saw that in the documentary and stuff, and it also said that.
Documentary.
No. I'm being serious.
I know, but because we're talking about Doc Ock, I said documentary. It's just sort of funny.
Yeah. I also want to mention something else, if you remember this. Like, there was supposed to be something in the first movie, which was I was kind of disappointed at.
What?
It was supposed to be Hugh Jackman's Wolverine supposed to make a little cameo in the Spider-Man film.
What? I mean,
but of course, that contract got broken off.
Oh.
But it wouldn't make sense at the time, because both were not part of the MCU at the time. But one was from Fox and one was from Sony, so it could have worked out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it would work for him to make a slight appearance.
But since in 2 years, in 2024, he will be officially in the MCU, so there's a possibility that Tony's Spider-Man will meet his Wolverine.
Well, let's hope so.
Oh, no. Yeah, and there's rumors going around Zac Efron being cast as MCU's Wolverine. I don't know what about that.
Yeah, I don't see Zac Efron as Wolverine. Plus, he was too young back then.
But other than that, yeah, the train scene and all that.
Yes, the train scene.
That is the most iconic, because the train was about to go off the tracks, and Spider-Man used his webs, a lot of webs, to try to do it, and he stretched his arm out, tried to stop it, and so turned his suit a little bit. And at the same time, during the fight, Doc Ock removed his mask, or he removed his mask himself. I don't remember. It's been a while.
He took off his mask because sparks were flying in his face and stuff. That's what happened.
Oh, okay. But anyways, so yeah, after that happened, the people from the train brought Peter in with his mask off, and a voice said, "Don't worry, we won't tell anyone."
Yeah, those were like good people, and like yes, even people say this like his Spider-Man was like stronger than like Andrew Garfield's and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Even though Tom Holland like did the same thing, but except with a ship in Homecoming. But with Toby's strength, it was really good.
Yes.
Yeah, and they actually made an Easter egg of that in the PS4 Spider-Man where it did with a train on the ground, and he tried to do it. Of course, it failed, and he said, that kind of actually worked last time. So that's a nice hint there, right?
It was also in Into the Spider-Verse and Spectacular Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, a fun fact about the scene with those people, the boy that talked, saying that wanted to reveal their identity, I found out that that's his, like, was it like half brother or what?
Yeah, half brothers, like, yeah, which was pretty shocking when I found it out as a fact. I was like, whoa, family and like in a movie, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I didn't know this until freshman video that the one of the legendary voice actors, Phil Lamar, who's known for voicing Static Shock, Will from Foster's Home, etc., made a cameo in that scene as well, because he appeared in like the far left.
Yeah, and like with family, it kind of reminds me. Yeah, they did a similar thing in Tom Holland's like in Homecoming with his brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, he has like brothers, and one of them actually was in Homecoming.
Really?
Well, where was he?
Remember that guy who was chasing like the robber?
Wait, the robber. All right, you mean like okay? When you say robber, you mean like either the guy that stole the bike or the guys that were breaking into the AMT?
The bike. That was him.
What?
So he was So yeah, he was basically chasing his own brother.
I mean, but yeah, I wish that could have happened to Andrew Garfield if he had brothers in his movie. But yeah, with Spider-Man 2, yes, it was like one of those movies where like it was really getting good like from like the previous movie and all that. And yeah, Christian, we didn't mention about Willem Dafoe's like cameo.
Wait, when did he make a cameo?
At the end of the movie.
Remember, like, with Harry, and then you can see like Norman Osborn in the mirror, like talking to Harry.
Oh,
yeah,
because his mind was getting a little bit delusional, right?
Yeah, and then of course he broke the mirror and all that. Oh yeah, and Christian, I told this to Fresh, but fun fact: the reason like he made a cameo in that one because Willem Dafoe one day was walking to his apartment, and like he saw the crew like filming, and they were like, "Hey, let's get Willem as a cameo."
Oh, so wait. That house that where the mirror was, that was actually Willem's apartment?
No. His apartment was near the filming sets where they were filming.
Okay, that makes much more sense. But wow, that's actually cool. I'm glad they decided to go with that. And since he broke the mirror, he found out Green Goblin's old lair. And that's where he gets the idea to become the new Green Goblin.
The new Goblin, or should I say, what Bully McGuire calls him, Little Goblin Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to review that in the future.
So yeah, I think we're done from here, and then let's talk about our final results.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, really great film, really great sequel, great villain and introduction and stuff, great cast. I give it 100 out of 100.
Yeah, same. And I also want to talk about the posters because the posters at the time were like really clever because the first one was Spider-Man and Green Goblin, the second one was like Doc Ock and Spider-Man, the third one was Spider-Man and Venom, and then they did the same for Mark Webb and the MCU. That's what I really liked about the posters.
So, same.
Mm-hmm.
And you, Fresh?
Yes, it's it's a wonder to behold. It's one of the best sequels of all time, one of the best superhero movies of all time, and oh yes, another thing, the addition to the songs, especially this one song that plays it. Yeah, two songs that played at the end, Vindicated and Ordinary. I like the second one. It's so much awesomeness, but I'm anything but ordinary. That became like one of my themes in life, and it's an awesome song.
That all sounds like the Slash Rock song, everyday superhero. I'm not just your ordinary everyday superhero. They should have played that in one of the Spider-Man movies.
That would be a little bit too much. I don't know about that, but it would. But maybe, jokingly.
And this last message for my vote. Enough said, true believers.
Exactly.
Yeah.